Good afternoon to you and the viewers.
The Cape Winelands Fire Services has reported that good progress has been made in certain areas overnight to control those fires. Talk to us about this. We know that there were some serious battles overnight with the fires, to a point where 2 firefighters, in fact, were seriously injured.
Okay, working on fire has been part of this fire since it started about a week ago. And from Monday last week, we've always been on the fire line assisting our partners, which is the Greater Overberg District Municipality, the Cape Winelands Municipality, now involved in the city of Cape Town. So from the beginning, we've always been part of that fire. And now, since the fire had spread to areas such as the Jonkershoek, our teams continue to assist in those areas. And day and night, we've always had working on fire teams, assisting either doing mop-ups or going through the fire lines to make sure that the areas that had been the fires that have been put out are completely out, and there's no threats of any flare-ups.
Yeah.
Even as I'm speaking to you right now, we have 3 teams that are on the line. We have False Bay team that is at the Stellenbosch area where they are doing a mop-up. As that area between the Stellenbosch as well as the Franschhoek, there's a lot of farms. There's schools there as well as communities. So our team, a Force Bay team, is currently doing a mop-up there to ensure that those areas are protected from the fire. And we also have the HTH team that is in the Neverbeck area in Grabo. They are currently doing a fire break to ensure that if the fire, there's a wind change expected in direction. So they're doing that fire breaks to ensure that when the fire comes their side, the HTH, the Hottentots Holland area is protected, as well as the farms and the farms in that area.
Limakatso, there was a warning of soaring temperatures for today, accompanied by strong winds expected for, in fact, this afternoon as we speak. Both very bad factors when dealing with fires. And I wonder if that is indeed the case, that is also might be also just adding to the problems. And I'm sure the firefighters continue to have the work cut out for them at this stage.
Well, the windy weather conditions have been a problem with regards to fighting this fire, because we have aerial resources that are on standby willing to assist in fighting fires as it continues to burn in areas that are not easily accessible for firefighters. So in terms of windy weather condition, as well as the dense smoke, especially in the Jonkershoek area, it's becoming difficult for firefighting aerial resources as well as ground crews to be able to reach those areas. However, the fire that is currently still burning in the Jonkershoek mountain will continue to burn because it's in an area where it's very hard to access. Will continue to burn, and ground crews as well as aerial resources will wait for it to be in an area where they can be able to access it and then fight it from there.
Yeah.
Teams are continuing, however, doing fire breaks in areas that are accessible to ensure that when the fire comes down, it doesn't cross and then burn into residential areas, farms, school, and other properties.
You briefly touched on the issue of flare-ups, and just wanted to ask you perhaps if we can further discuss that. I mean, are there areas that have perhaps been identified as hotspots where those flare-ups could in fact happen?
Well, there were flare-ups that were reported in the Stellenbosch area last night, but aerial resources were quickly deployed in that area and were able to put out that fire successfully. And in terms of flare-ups, what happens is that once the fire has been put out, the teams are sent to that area to ensure that to monitor and just observe the area to ensure that there isn't any threat of flare-ups. Areas that are still smoking or still have coal, they go there and then they make sure that they completely put out that fire. And then in most cases, our working on fire teams would go in that area a couple of days and would give that area when they are 100% sure that there isn't any possibilities that there will be any flare-ups. So to my understanding now, currently most of, as this fire had covered a big area, including 3 municipalities, Overberg, Cape Winelands, and now on the side of Lawrence Fort here in Somerset East, city of Cape Town. So the entire fire line, there's firefighters on the line making sure that there aren't any flare-ups or making sure they are able to report in time when there are any flare-ups to make sure that aerial resources are deployed as soon as possible to put out that fire.
All right. Thank you for that input and really giving us a clear update of what's happening there in Stellenbosch. We appreciate it. That's Limakatso Khalianyane from Working on Fires giving us that update there on the fires.